What happened to the unpopular or bullied girl after high school? She's fine. Has a couple of kids and lives in the burbs with a nice man and is happy. Prom queen, on the other hand, is a meth head. It's sad but usually how it ends up. They peak in high school and then came handle life afterwards, it seems. A girl in my year was bullied relentlessly for being odd. Unfortunately, she had a very unstable home life and her mother suffered from fairly severe mental health issues. They had a very explosive relationship. One day during class she just couldn't suppress her feelings anymore, so she took a pair of scissors out of her bag and proceeded to cut off all of her hair, right there at her desk. That was 8 years ago. To this day, she still lives at home with her mother and does some sort of art course at the local college. Things don't always get better for people when high school ends, but I hope she is doing okay. That's very sad. Also, I have a question if anyone has an answer, why exactly is cutting hair such a common response to emotional or stressful breakdowns? I feel like I hear about it a lot. Is there a defined psychological reason? In any case I hope things get better for her. Edit, so many good answers. The most common response is that it gives a sense of control, which I think makes sense. This makes me sad. I hope she's doing better. When I did community college I spent little time at home, then later moved away in a relationship. She has hope. She will be okay. She got crippling social anxiety and major trust issues. Me. Yep, this. I don't have any friends, I don't know how to make them, not sure I want to but I know I should. I just don't trust anyone. Worst thing is I need friends and I just don't have them. Hate being alone and suffer a lot because of it. I put up a really large wall and pretend to be okay but I'm just emotionless with people a lot of the time. I don't want to be this way but I don't know what to do. I came in here thinking that I'm about to read like the most inspirational story and then this happens, that's reality for you. The last I heard she was living on the streets. We've actually tried to track her down a few times over the years but she appears to have disappeared. I truly hope she is doing better now. She was a really sweet girl, other assholes kids would bully her for her weight not realizing she came from an abusive foster home. Foster kids are disproportionately represented on my psych ward by a large margin. An incredibly underserved community that's invisible to most people. The amount of abuse, sexual or otherwise, is chilling. Many foster parents just like the government check. I want to have a couple kids the old-fashioned way, but I'd love to be a foster parent too. I also meet a lot of wonderful ones with kids they can't control. Fetal drug exposure and genetic mental illness are much more common in this population, for obvious reasons. Good foster parents are fucking saints. She dropped out and killed one of her bullies. Edit, I was a senior and she was a freshman, this all happened around the last 2 weeks of school. The school didn't openly share the info so I don't really know anymore. There's always a bigger fish. Holy shit. Better the bully than herself. Story. Died of brain cancer. Shame too. She was going to get married. Just the sweetest young lady. This thread is not how I fucking wanted it to be. Was she unpopular and bullied because she had brain cancer, side effects? She got pregnant and now has 4 kids and 2 divorces at the age of 26. And this ain't a joke. I know this person. At least she got laid a few times? She married a lovely, caring man. She worked for a number of years as a computer programmer. They traveled the world, bought a house, had a child who is now a wonderful young man. She now is a published author. I am so glad we became friends in junior high. She inspires me. This is the sweetest, it makes me happy to read it. She loved animals so much. Like, furry level except furries weren't a thing back then. She raises and trains bald eagles now and is a complete, total badass. I love this happy ending. I hope my kids don't ever give up on their interests because of bullies. I was also a weird kid who loved animals to an extreme degree and kids were really mean about it. I was teased so much. I don't work with animals now, but I do have a lot of pets, donate to conservation programs, and I'm a teacher who encourages kids to take care of the earth. Every day I hope that I'm making a difference. She got super hot and married the prom king. Just kidding, she has 6 cats and works at the Dollar Tree. You mean she got contact lenses and untied her hair and then became super hot? Maybe the 6 cats are tigers and her job at Dollar Tree is that of an executive. Hey, super hot and married to the prom king and having 6 cats while working at the Dollar Tree are not mutually exclusive. I've got a great job, a roof over my head, good health and friends who love me. I work at Dollar Tree and everyone still hates me. She lost a lot of weight, stopped dressing emo, and became very attractive. She's got a good sense of humor and pokes fun of herself posting old pictures on FB for fun. That's the perfect response. First learn to improve yourself, then learn to love yourself, and finally learn to laugh at yourself. This thread reminds me of that documentary Bully. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. Disturbing as fug to see how kids treat each other through bullying, and sad, but every parent and student should watch it. I used to get bullied in high school a bit. I didn't really know about this movie, but my dad called me one day and said he was sorry that all he ever did was tell me to man up or ask me if I was being weird when I complained that kids were mean to me at school. I mean, I turned out okay, and in high school it got a lot better because I'm not small and learned to react aggressively to people. But I guess a lot of times parents just don't really get what's going on. Part of the issue is that I definitely was a weird kid, so that made me a target, but the other part is that the school would lie to my parents when I was a kid and say they took actions to address these issues when really all they did was tell me to stop being weird. Or do nothing. My parents would usually believe the teachers. Imagine living a life where you don't find out about how shitty other people can be until you watch a movie about it. It's amazing how kids at the middle high school age know right where to hit people to hurt them emotionally, or otherwise, I suppose. It's like at that age, they become clever enough to know how to really abuse someone mentally, but they don't yet have the worldview or empathy to understand why they shouldn't. I mean, Rockstar made a good game, but I wouldn't call it a documentary. One committed suicide later in her 20s. I think that had more to do with her screwed up family than the bullying. The other is an amazing pharmaceutical scientist. I'm FB friends with her. She's still quirky, odd, and not outwardly attractive, but she is happy and living her best life. Never married, though. Has been in a very long serious relationship and not sure why that ended. Continues to be very happy, though. Formerly bullied, perpetually single pharmaceutical chemist here. Give your friend a high five for me, please. She had a couple kids with a guy, split with him but was still living with her ex's mother. Was having sex with another man when her ex came in and shot him. She has since lost custody of her children to her ex-mill and is trying to get them back. Wait, who shot who? One has a life that's one disaster after another with illness and injury. One transitioned to male and it all made sense. Now he's super popular and successful. Would love to know more about the one that became male. How is he different now? I don't know. Who keeps track of the people they went to high school with? A lot of people in this thread apparently. Facebook. The answer is Facebook. You don't keep track of them, it keeps track of them for you. That was me, yay. Having a very sick mom with basically no income and messed up teeth meant I got bullied all of the time. I struggled with suicidal thoughts, attempts, went to therapy, and figured out that I needed to get the fug away from that area to sort myself out. I went off very far away to college, graduated with my feet on the ground, found a job I love and am good at, and married the most amazing guy, oddly my crush throughout school, from back home. We have a loving, middle-class life and home, and I've managed to get better looking since I got clear braces and stayed in shape, unlike my peers. All I had to do was leave to realize that their little hate bubble was all they'd ever have. I don't think people realize how having fucked up teeth can ruin your confidence. My front teeth were extremely crooked and my family couldn't afford braces. There are very few photos of me until I got braces at 1920s because I refused to get in front of a camera and smile with my mouth open, and I always felt weird doing a closed-mouth smile. Whenever my friends pull up photos from their school days, I always feel a twinge of jealousy because I don't have those photos. I'm only 22, but if I ever have children, there'll be very few photos of me as a teenager to show them. I was lucky that I didn't get bullied about my teeth, although I know lots of comments were made behind my back, but that didn't stop it from letting me live my life. It made meeting people hard. I used to laugh with my hand over my mouth. It's just a shit experience, to be honest. I was the unpopular girl, never really fit in, had a rep for being weird, but got good grades. Never really understood what made me weird, until college got difficult. Eventually went to get checked out because it seemed like my brain was always a bit off. Got diagnosed with autism, age 21, and it explains a lot. It was just harder to see because of my gender, ASD is underdiagnosed in girls, and because I was an overachiever at school, at the cost of having little ability to make friends and a lot of ability to alienate everyone in every school I'd been to. Girls, if you think something's up, get checked out. If I'd been diagnosed earlier, it might have helped people understand I wasn't just a batty old weirdo, and maybe, my schools would have helped me, heck, my parents might have understood me better, and not just told me to get over it. It also just helps a lot, knowing it's not your fault. It's made me a happier person. Edit, I still have mental health issues stemming from inability to cope with social issues. A diagnosis isn't a cure-all, nor is it an excuse to do anything bad. It's just a means of understanding what's wrong, and leads to support and better management of conditions. I'm a girl and have had a strong feeling I have Asperger's or similar, for years now. I had an evaluation done, and they said I had no sign of it at all. But one of the reasons why, that they gave me, was because I didn't have any tics or hand flapping. I don't know, I was disappointed and honestly still feel I am somewhere on the spectrum. She was bullied because she always smelled awful, had dirty clothes and greasy hair, and every time head lice was spread at the school everyone would accuse her of being the culprit. She dropped out and got married, got pregnant, but got harassed online for being a teen mom. Then everyone found out that the reason she was always so dirty is because her mother was in prison for child abuse. She didn't know who her dad was, and her aunt, who had sole custody, made her sleep on the floor with 14 dogs and didn't let her shower. People felt really bad and tried to reach out, but she told them all to fug right off. She's really happy with her new family and looks like she's being the best mom. Got a job, supportive husband, and a house of their own. It's sad she couldn't continue with her education because she was so incredibly smart. We went to a really prestigious school and she outperformed everyone, but ended up leaving without any qualifications. Good. People who bully like that deserve the shame and guilt of it. I'm fine, outwardly. Married to a wonderful man with 2 brilliant, beautiful children. Career I can work on in placeholder fashion while the kids are young, but great potential for future developments. Internally I'm riddled with self-doubt, anxiety and depression. Always trying to please people, surprised that people seem to like me, and any time I see people talking in low tones to each other, my knee-jerk reaction is to think they're talking shit about me. I'm 37. Bullying leaves deep, deep scars. I have that reaction too when people talk without me being able to hear or understand. I don't think I was bullied much, but did have some issues growing up. Hope you get over yours. She's a manager at Vans, she's beautiful and in a good relationship. I'm so glad she found happiness. I was the bullied girl, they bullied me to suicide attempts. After school I had a great time as a traveling musician, met my very intelligent and attractive husband, got married, purchased a house, got a dog, regularly travel and spend time in the great outdoors, and now we're expecting our first child. The 2 worst bullies both have 3+ kids with all different dads. One still lives with her parents, the other tends to cling on to different dudes and suck them dry till they kick her and her kids out. I ran into one of them at a wedding we had mutual connection to. She had clearly abandoned all self-care, smelled bad, and was drinking heavily. I'm not even mad at myself for feeling so smug as I sat there with my husband and said, I guess you peaked in high school. I deserved that after what she did to me. I upvoted purely for what you did at the wedding, that's truly beautiful. She started posting on Reddit. Crying face. Me too girl. I refused to be in the yearbook, changed my name, cut off my hair, changed every aspect of my appearance and personality, nuked my social media, and I'm hoping that in 20 years they'll have either forgotten I existed or assume I died. But how are you doing now? Hopefully happy, or at least content. She was rich, she was smart, but she was a real bitch. Now she's exorbitantly rich, still smart, and even more of a bitch than she used to be. Mind you, most people from my class and school are reasonably to quite successful in life nowadays and came from upper middle class to low upper class families. Most of them are university educated, and the few that did live in poverty back in the day have escaped it. She simply had a head start in life and made sure to remind everyone about it every day. You sound jealous, she only had a small loan of $1 million. She sounds like she pulled herself up by her bootstraps. Well, there's multiple. One dropped out and had a kid with a 35-year-old. One got a good job and appears to make bank and seems super happy with her life. Really depends on the reason why they were unpopular, I guess. Oh, that's true. I never really thought about it that way. I was the bullied one. Went through university battling depression, but made it in the end. Left the country, finally found a job after a long search. Got bullied again by my boss, but eventually found a better job through building a good reputation and got promoted. Afterwards still some more struggle at work and an abusive relationship that I successfully left. Now I'm very happy. I have a stable job, a great apartment, an amazing boyfriend, and wonderful friends. Life truly gets better if you stand up again and again. You'll get stronger every time. Being the kid who was unpopular and bullied, I can tell you my personal experience. In high school I was severely bullied about being short, skinny, and had some disabilities. So I was beaten up a lot. I was bullied both by students and teachers. Teachers told me that I could not get it to college. Said I was stupid, etc. Now I am a freelance graphic designer and artist who owns a business, DB Art and Design, making a graphic novel series with a fanbase. I also have a high-paying job and 2 college degrees. I also am a fit, strong person who does the Tough Mudder when I'm not working. It may not be the coolest story, but I thought you might like it. Simple. I reassure her everything's gonna be alright cause you don't need to be popular or liked in order to have a good life, especially not in high school. I told her, you're likely never gonna see them again, and I've known this girl for quite a while. I knew what it was like to be in her shoes and basically told her, you're unpopular for your own good, and that's okay. Keep your crowd small. People don't like those who are different, but the way I see it, different is unique. Just because you're different than everyone else doesn't downgrade you, you're just a rose in a field of daises. Being different is good, but owning it will make you feel a lot more better. We're currently running on 8 months in our relationship and I couldn't be happier. There's nothing I won't do to make her smile. At the 10-year reunion, she was elegant, is the first thing that comes to mind. Pretty yes, hot yes, but her elegance stood out for me. She went to law school. Fuck, that's terrible. I was friends with her. All the other girls bullied her because she either wasn't feminine enough or was way too into anime. It didn't help she hung out with a bunch of nerdy dudes like me who played Magic, The Gathering and Warhammer every day, instead of hang out at the beach and hold wild benders on Fridays. She found herself the victim of racism by her fellow Asian students because she came from Vietnam, and was commonly insulted for it because she was really into Japanese culture, not just anime, but the media, music, fashion, etc. She was super conscious about her teeth, because she came from a poor family, divorced, raised primarily by an alcoholic mother who would soon develop severe mental problems. I mean, I love her mother a lot, she's really sweet, but she didn't really act responsibly with her children, resulting in them having really screwed up teeth with no money to fix it. She landed herself a serious boyfriend near the end of high school, a guy a few years older than her. Seeing her home situation, he decided to be her savior and got her a job at the game store next to his job. He moved out to get a cheap studio apartment where they could just live a normal life, where they didn't have to put up with the drama and stress of their families. Turns out they got too cozy with one another, and she got pregnant. She had to quit her job, and became a full-time mom. Was actually really good at it. The guy made an attempt to raise this kid, but it turns out he couldn't see himself living the rest of his life with this girl or being a father. He still wanted a college education, a major career path, and a more solitary life. He cheated on her while she was pregnant, but she thought it was just something that happens and he'll be more loyal once the child was born, so she didn't murder him for it. Nope, the cheating only got worse, to the point that he ended up cheating on the girl he was cheating on her with. Yeah, he was quite a piece of work. He suddenly disappeared shortly after their daughter turned 2. The overwhelming response wasn't one of anger, or fear, or apprehension. It was relief. Having him gone actually made her life more easy, and without him there, she got a lot of help and sympathy from her family. She moved back in with her mom, taking her daughter with her. Her brother moved back into the house too, for a little bit, just to help ensure the kid had food, supplies, and regular doctor visits. One of her old friends from high school reconnected. Turns out he was in a serious relationship with one of the girls who bullied her. The years were kind to their mentality, and without the high school environment polluting their perceptions, they ended up all becoming good friends with one another. Through them, she found herself getting invited to gatherings by these women who previously antagonized her. And when they found out she had a kid with a deadbeat dad who disappeared and doesn't pay a dime in child support, they were more than enthusiastic to help however they could. 10 years later, she's found herself a new man, a good man, and he was so enchanted by her that in a crazy lapse of impulsive judgment, put a ring on her hand without a second guess. They were going to move out, but opted to stay to care for mom as her mental state worsened. And her daughter is all grown up now. Blows my mind. She's now the same age as when I first met her mom. Looks just like her mom did at that age, a direct clone, and hasn't a damn bit of her father at all. Everyone my age is wrangling toddlers and attending Daniel Tiger-themed birthday parties. Meanwhile, my friend's kid joins us for Magic, The Gathering, late-night arcade ventures, anime screenings, quotes the IT crowd flawlessly, and hangs out with us like one of the group. And her kid is so grown up, she insists that her mom and daddy go have date nights, that she'll cook for grandma and watch the baseball game on TV with her. It's amazing. This kid loves her new daddy so much, she'll go out of her way to ensure he maintains a strong relationship with her mom. So quite a turnaround. Yeah, the person who tried saving her dumped a massive liability on her and left her for selfish reasons, disappearing and refusing to pay child support. But in light of that, the people who bullied her ended up supporting her. And her liability grew up into a responsible girl whose existence allows her to have a strong relationship with her husband without a ton of worry for her own mother. Yeah, they're still struggling financially, but they're climbing. Last month, she just had her first dental appointment in 20 years. And she hated every minute of it. Sounds like a bit of long-deserved normalcy to me. I haven't seen her in years. She was technically popular, but the tides turned and she wasn't liked anymore. Last I saw, she had gained weight but in a healthier way. She recognized me, but I didn't at first. Seems to have calmed down and that's good. I am happy for her. One of them got into a good college and has a good career as far as I know. The other one shot herself. She had a rough life, briefly became a prostitute, had lots of troubles with alcohol and drugs. She finally straightened herself out, met a man who loved her, and she lives 26 miles away from our hometown and refuses to return, for obvious reasons. I apologized to her some years ago, because I always felt guilty about being one of those who made fun of her. It wasn't her fault, the family was broke, and she was ostracized from the start. She told me that had it been others in our class, she'd tell them to go to hell, but she knew I was sincere, and appreciated it. We're Facebook friends, and she has a life that she enjoys, and I'm happy for that. I now know what she went through, as my oldest daughter was tormented pretty much from day number 1 of school by 3 girls who were horrifyingly evil. What damage it did to her, we still don't know, but she's on depression meds, which was induced by the abuse she took for 13 years. She committed suicide after struggling with mental health issues nearly her whole life. Wish that I had had the courage to reach out and talk to her, rather than just ignore her and stay in my own isolated bubble. I don't know if it would have changed anything, but it would have been nice to have known her a little better than just as the girl that was always pretty odd and alone and now gone forever. She ended up being valedictorian as well. She was incredibly smart, but nobody really knew that. She was bullied due to her crazy hair dye and unusual clothes. She went to beauty school. Worked at a local beauty parlor for a couple of years. Then opened her own place. Then opened a couple more. Then she married a banker and had a couple of kids and a grand house overlooking a lake. Funny how life works sometimes. I'm doing quite well married, live in a great house, have a job I still like after 20 years there, and my kid is kind of awesome. Suck it, Paul I still hate you and would dance on your grave. Ariana Grande used to go to my school. She was bullied a lot. And now she is popular ASF. That was me. I'm pretty much a recluse and I'm very wary of people. I have 2 close friends and we were all bullied in some way. About a year ago, one of the girls that bullied me invited me to a Mary Kay party. I told her no. But I was socially awkward, had odd interest, I loved insects, was shy, and had some anxiety from my home life. This girl was bullied for being a witch and does voodoo. She bite her fingers till it bleeds then sips it. Also, she had a crush on our gay math teacher and fantasizes about him being her Christian Grey. She posts it on Facebook too. Also, she made tons of fake Facebook profiles talking shit about other people in our class. So yeah, she was bullied for it. She started going to the gym and wearing heavy makeup and sexy outfits even when she's in the nearby mall where everyone is just wearing simple clothes. We lived in a pretty small city. She also bragged on Facebook that she's the richest in her community college and that she's dating an Arab she met online. Also, she was kind of trending 2 months ago because she was trying to seduce an ex-boyfriend and she didn't know she was actually talking to the current GF. The current GF pretended to be the guy and catfished her and made her wait at the nearby Starbucks for 3 hours, then made fun of her. It was all over Facebook, but it was deleted. I actually felt bad for her, but she argued with me for no good reason before, I don't remember, but it was pretty childish. It seems like she was still struggling with issues that she can't overcome and that even money can't cure. She's from a rich family, but she was weird as fuck. I wish her well though. She's my little sister and she has a master's degree from a prestigious European college. Her dream job is a book editor for Random House, expertly dyed rainbow hair and can do a better cat eye than any professional makeup artist. High school ain't shit. Don't know. We are having a 10-year after high school reunion in 2 months. Everyone tried finding her on social media and over other friends, nobody knows. She may be happy to have left people who treated her poorly behind her. They committed suicide. Everybody all of a sudden wants to get with me even though in school I was a fat cow, ugly piece of shit, among many more creative names. Funny how that works. I became a goddamn engineer and didn't have kids at 19. Killed herself. For all you bullies out there, know this, your torment doesn't end on graduation day. It lingers, like a scar. Some people hold that burden for a long time until they finally just can't anymore, and in that moment I want you to know that that person's death was seeded many years prior, by you. So if you're a bully, fuck you.